I need someone who can actually provide a future. That's what the text said. Not a phone call. Not a conversation. A text message. After 4 years together, Sarah told me she was leaving me for someone else. Someone established. Someone with real ambition. His name was Derek. He was a corporate lawyer at a downtown firm. He drove a BMW. He wore expensive suits. And according to Sarah, he was everything I needed in a partner. I read that text sitting in my Honda Civic, parked outside the gym. I didn't respond. I didn't call. I just stared at my phone for 5 minutes, then put it away and went inside. Because here's what Sarah didn't know. The guy she thought was barely getting by, he was worth more than her new boyfriend would make in a decade. My name is Ryan. I'm 32 years old, and for 4 years, I let the woman I love believe I was struggling. I met Sarah at a coffee shop when I was 28. She was a marketing manager at a mid-sized agency, making $78,000 a year. Smart, beautiful, ambitious. We talked for 2 hours that first day. She asked what I did for work. I told her I was a freelance software developer. That was true. What I didn't mention was how much I made doing it. I worked from home, mostly in sweatpants and old t-shirts. I drove a 2015 Honda Civic with 120,000 miles on it. I lived in a modest 2-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood. Nothing fancy. Nothing that screamed success. When we went out, I was careful about spending. Not cheap, but thoughtful. I'd suggest affordable restaurants, free activities, movie nights at home. Sarah never asked about my finances directly, so I never offered the details. She assumed I was making maybe $60,000 or $70,000 a year. Enough to get by. Comfortable, but not impressive. And I let her assume that because I wanted to know she loved me for me, not for what I had. The truth? I was making $240,000 a year. I had contracts with 3 major tech companies, building custom applications and consulting on system architecture. But I kept my lifestyle modest. I invested everything I didn't need to live on. Sarah, meanwhile, made her ambitions clear from the start. She wanted the life she'd grown up dreaming about. Nice house in the suburbs. 2 cars. Vacations to Europe. Kids in good schools. She talked about it constantly, planning our future, and I listened. I never told her we could already afford all of it. I wanted to wait. Make sure we were solid first. Make sure she wanted me, not the life I could give her. Looking back, I should have seen the signs. The way she'd linger on Instagram posts of friends' engagement rings. The way she'd mention her co-worker's husband, the one who just made partner at his firm. The way she'd go quiet when I suggested we save money instead of spending it. But I loved her, so I told myself it didn't matter. That she'd understand eventually. That we had time. I was wrong. It started in year 2. Small comments that felt like paper cuts. We were at her company holiday party, and one of her colleagues asked what I did. Ryan's a freelancer, Sarah said, smiling. He works from home. Then she added, almost apologetically, it gives him flexibility. Like my career was a hobby I did between naps. 6 months later, we were having dinner with her parents. Her father asked about my plans for the future. Before I could answer, Sarah jumped in. Ryan's still figuring things out. He's not really the corporate type. Her mother nodded sympathetically, like I had a chronic illness. When I brought it up later, Sarah laughed it off. I didn't mean anything by it. You know, my parents are traditional. They don't understand the whole freelance thing. I let it go. Year 3, we started talking about moving in together. I suggested we look at places, maybe something with a home office for me. Sarah found a 1-bedroom apartment she liked. Rent was $1,850 a month. We can split it, she said, then paused. Actually, maybe I should cover a bit more, since my income is more stable. I told her we'd split it evenly. She looked relieved, but also pitying, like I was being proud about something I couldn't actually afford. That same year, her friend got engaged. The ring was massive, 2 carats, platinum band. Sarah stared at it for a full minute. On the drive home, she was quiet. Finally, she said, must be nice to not have to worry about money. I asked what she meant. Nothing, she said. Just, some people have it easier. The next incident was worse. We were at brunch with her college friends, and one of them mentioned buying a vacation home in Colorado. Another talked about their Mediterranean cruise. When I asked about our plans, Sarah said, we're taking it slow, trying to be financially responsible. One of her friends gave her this knowing look. Smart. Not everyone could do the big trips. After they left, Sarah was irritable. I'm tired of being the couple that can't keep up, she said. I reminded her we'd just taken a weekend trip to the coast. A weekend trip, Ryan. Not Europe. Not anywhere people actually want to go. I suggested we could save up for something bigger. She shook her head. That's not the point. The final straw in the pattern came during year 4. Her younger sister got married. The wedding was extravagant. Destination venue, 200 guests, live band. During the reception, Sarah's aunt cornered me. So, when are you going to make an honest woman out of my niece? She asked, winking. Before I could answer, she leaned in. You know, you should really think about getting a more stable job first. Sarah deserves security. Sarah was standing right there. She didn't defend me. She just smiled awkwardly and changed the subject. That night in our hotel room, I asked her about it. Do you think I can't provide for you? She hesitated too long. It's not that. It's just, you have to admit, your income isn't exactly predictable. And if we want kids, a house, all of that, we need stability. You don't think I'm stable. I think you're doing your best, she said. And somehow, that was worse than a no. 3 weeks after her sister's wedding, Sarah started acting different. Distant. She was on her phone more, smiling at texts she wouldn't explain. When I asked if everything was okay, she said she was just stressed about work. Then came the dinner. She suggested we go to our favorite Italian place, the one where we'd had our first date. I thought maybe she wanted to reconnect. I was wrong. We ordered, made small talk. Then, halfway through her pasta, she put down her fork. I've been doing a lot of thinking, she said, about us, about our future. I felt my stomach drop. I love you, Ryan. I really do. But I don't think we want the same things. She wasn't looking at me. You're happy with your life the way it is. The apartment, the car, the simple routine. And that's fine. But I need more. I need someone who's driven. Someone who wants to build something real. I am building something, I said quietly. Are you? She finally met my eyes. Because from where I'm sitting, you're coasting. You've been doing the same freelance work for 4 years. No growth. No ambition to do something bigger. I can't spend my life waiting for you to figure out. What are you saying? She took a breath. I met someone at a work conference last month. His name is Derek. He's a lawyer. And he knows what he wants. He's established. He has a plan. The restaurant noise faded to white static. I didn't plan for this to happen, she continued. But we talked, and he made me realize what I've been missing. I need someone who can actually provide a future. Someone I don't have to worry about. I sat there, frozen. She was breaking up with me. In public. For a man she'd known for 3 weeks. I'm sorry, she said, and she actually looked sad. But this is what's best for both of us. You'll find someone who's okay with your lifestyle. I need someone who matches my ambition. I didn't argue. Didn't beg. I just pulled out my wallet, left 3 20s on the table for my half of the bill, and stood up. Ryan, I hope he gives you everything you're looking for, I said. My voice was calm. Flat. I walked out. I sat in my car for 10 minutes before I could turn the key. Not crying. Not angry. Just empty. And then, slowly, something else settled in. Clarity. She made her choice. Now she'd live with it. I blocked Sarah's number that night. Blocked her on every social media platform. Removed every trace of her from my phone, my apartment, my life. The first text came through a mutual friend 2 days later. Sarah's worried about you. She says you won't answer her calls. Can you just let her know you're okay? He replied, I'm fine. Tell her not to contact me again. A week passed. Another friend reached out. Hey man, Sarah wants to return some of your stuff. Can she drop it off? Leave it with the building manager. I typed back. Then Sarah's sister called from an unknown number. I answered by accident. Ryan, what's going on? Sarah's really upset. She says you won't talk to her. There's nothing to talk about, I said. She just wants closure. You can't just disappear like this after 4 years. Yes, I can. We're done. She made that clear. But I hung up. 3 weeks after the breakup, I saw Sarah posted a photo on Instagram. I know because our mutual friend Jamie showed me at the gym, thinking I'd want to know. It was Sarah and Derek at some upscale restaurant. Her caption, New Chapter Red Heart. Jamie looked at me nervously. You okay? Yeah, I said. And I meant it. I went completely dark. No mutual hangots. No asking about her. No checking her social media. I deleted the apps entirely. If someone brought her up, I changed the subject. Sarah had wanted someone else. She got someone else. I owed her nothing. Not explanations. Not closure. Not even acknowledgement. She'd made me invisible in her ambitions. Now I'd make myself invisible in her guilt. 1 month after the breakup, I sat at my desk and opened my laptop. Not to wallow. Not to stalk her social media. Just to look at what I'd built while she was busy comparing me to lawyers in BMWs. First, my primary business account. Balance. $847,250. Then my investment portfolio. Vanguard index funds, tech stocks, dividend accounts. Total, $1,340,000. My retirement accounts across 3 IRAs. Combined balance, $520,000. I own 2 rental properties. One in Austin that I'd bought 3 years ago for $185,000, now worth $310,000. Another in Phoenix, purchased 2 years ago for $220,000, now valued at $365,000. Combined equity after mortgages, approximately $380,000. Total net worth, $3,087,250. I stared at the screen. $3.1 million. Built quietly over 8 years of disciplined investing, smart contracts, and living below my means. All while Sarah thought I was figuring things out. I could have bought her the European vacations, the engagement ring that would have made her friends jealous, the house in the suburbs with the white picket fence. I could have done all of it without even touching my investments. But I wanted to know if she'd choose me without the money. If she'd see my work ethic, my intelligence, my character as enough. If she'd believe in me rather than in what I could display. She'd answer that question, loud and clear. Derek made $180,000 a year as a junior partner. I looked him up on LinkedIn during a moment of weakness. Good salary. Impressive for someone his age. He probably thought he was doing well. He was making less than I earned in 9 months. And Sarah, with her $78,000 salary and dreams of luxury, had left a multi-millionaire for someone she thought was successful because he wore the right clothes and drove the right car. I closed my laptop, leaned back in my chair, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to reach out. Wasn't going to tell her what she'd walked away from. I was just going to keep building, keep investing, keep living exactly as I had been. Because here's what I realized. She didn't deserve to know. She'd never asked about my work because she'd already decided it wasn't worth asking about. She'd never been curious about my finances because she'd assumed there was nothing to be curious about. She judged me based on appearances. Now she'd never know what was beneath them. And somehow, that felt like the most powerful revenge of all. I spent the next 2 weeks doing something I'd never done before. I documented everything. Not for Sarah, not to shove it in her face, but for me, to see it all laid out, to remind myself what I'd accomplished while she was busy being embarrassed of me. I started with my financial advisor. I called him and requested printed statements for all my accounts. Official documents with letterheads, account numbers, dates. The kind of proof that couldn't be dismissed or questioned. 3 days later, a thick envelope arrived. Inside, portfolio statement from Vanguard. $1,340,000 across index funds and individual stocks. 10-year growth chart showing steady, consistent returns. Business checking account from Chase. $847,250. Transaction history showing monthly deposits ranging from $18,000 to $35,000. Retirement accounts. 3 separate IRA statements totaling $520,000. All maxed out contributions for the past 8 years. I requested documents from my property management company next. They sent. Austin property. Purchase price $185,000 in 2021. Current valuation $310,000. Monthly rental income $2,400. Mortgage balance $125,000. Equity $185,000. Phoenix property. Purchase price $220,000 in 2022. Current valuation $365,000. Monthly rental income $2,800. Mortgage balance, $145,000. Equity, $220,000. Then I pulled my tax returns. 5 years of them. Each one showing annual income between $220,000 and $265,000. Every deduction itemized. Every investment gain documented. Every rental property loss and profit accounted for. I organized everything into a folder. Tab sections. Chronological order. Like I was preparing for an audit. But here's the thing. I wasn't planning to show it to anyone. I wasn't going to accidentally leave it where Sarah could find it. I wasn't going to post about it on social media or let mutual friends know. I wasn't going to engineer some dramatic confrontation where I laid it all out in front of her and watch her face fall. That would have meant I still cared what she thought, that her opinion of me still mattered. Instead, I was documenting it for a different reason. I was proving to myself that I'd made the right choice, that living below my means, staying humble, not flashing wealth wasn't a mistake. It was a test, and Sarah had failed it. I put the folder in my desk drawer, locked it, and went back to work. 2 days later, I landed a new contract. 6-month project with a Fortune 500 company. Payment, $185,000. I signed the agreement, updated my income projections, and realized something. By the end of the year, I crossed $3.5 million in net worth. Sarah was out there posting photos with Derek at wine bars and upscale restaurants, showing off her new chapter. And I was here in my modest apartment, in my old t-shirt, building an empire she'd never even know existed. That felt right. That felt like justice. 3 months after the breakup, I was at a coffee shop working on my laptop when I heard her voice. Ryan. I looked up. Sarah was standing there, holding a latte, looking surprised. And behind her, about 10 feet away, was Derek. Tall, sharp suit, perfectly styled hair. He was on his phone, not paying attention. Hi, I said. Neutral. Calm. I didn't expect to see you here. She shifted her weight. How are you? Good. Working. I gestured at my laptop. Right. Of course. An awkward pause. You look good. I didn't return the compliment. Just waited. Listen, I've been wanting to reach out, she said, quieter now. I know you blocked me, but I've thought about you. About how things ended. I feel like we should talk. Get closure. We have closure, I said. You chose someone else. That's pretty clear. It's not that simple. It is, though. I closed my laptop. Looked at her directly. You wanted someone established. Someone ambitious. You found that. We're good. Derek was walking over now, confused. Babe, you ready? Sarah glanced at him, then back at me. Derek, this is Ryan. We used to date. Derek extended his hand. I shook it. Firm grip, confident smile. Nice to meet you, man. Sarah's told me about you. I'm sure she has, I said. We should probably go, Sarah said quickly, sensing something in my tone. But then Derek, oblivious, kept talking. Yeah, man, Sarah said you're freelance? That's cool. I could never do that. Too unstable for me, you know? I need the security of a firm. I smiled. Didn't say anything. Anyway, good seeing you, Sarah said, pulling Derek toward the door. As they walked away, I heard her say something to him in a low voice. He laughed. I sat there for a moment, opened my laptop, kept working, and that's when I realized I didn't need to tell her. I didn't need to prove anything. The fact that she'd never know what she walked away from, that was enough. She thought she'd upgraded. Let her keep thinking that. 6 months after the breakup, I got a call from Jamie, our mutual friend from the gym. The one who'd shown me Sarah's Instagram post all those months ago. Dude, you need to hear this, he said. I almost hung up, but something in his voice stopped me. Sarah and Derek broke up. I set down my coffee. Okay. No, listen. It's messy. Apparently, Derek was drowning in student loans. Like $320,000 worth. And he'd been keeping up appearances this whole time, spending money he didn't have. Leased BMW. Expensive dinners on credit cards. The guy was basically broke. I didn't say anything. Sarah found out when his cards started getting declined. She confronted him, and he admitted everything. Said he'd been trying to maintain an image to impress her. Jamie paused. She's devastated, man. She keeps saying she made a mistake. That she shouldn't have left you. That's unfortunate, I said. Ryan, she wants to talk to you. She asked me to reach out. She knows she messed up. Jamie, I appreciate you telling me, but I'm not interested. Come on, man. For years. You loved her. Don't you want to at least hear her out? I thought about the folder in my desk, the statements, the proof of everything I'd built while she was busy being embarrassed of me. I could tell Jamie right now, could let him know what she'd actually walked away from, could let that information make its way back to her through the grapevine. But I didn't. I did love her, I said. Past tense. She made her choice based on what she thought someone was worth. That tells me everything I need to know about her values. And mine. So that's it? You're just done? Yeah, I'm done. Jamie sighed. For what it's worth, I think she realizes now that you were a good guy. I don't need her to realize that, I said. I already knew it. We hung up. I sat there for a moment, then opened my laptop. Checked my accounts out of habit. My net worth had just crossed $3.4 million. The new contract was paying out ahead of schedule. My rental properties had both appreciated another 8%. Sarah was out there, heartbroken over a man who'd faked success to impress her. The irony wasn't lost on me. She'd left someone with real wealth for someone with the appearance of wealth. And now she had neither. But here's the thing. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel vindicated. I just felt free. Because the revenge wasn't in her finding out. The revenge was in me not caring whether she ever did. I closed my laptop, went to the gym, came home, cooked dinner, worked on my projects, lived my life exactly as I had been. And somewhere out there, Sarah was learning a lesson she should have learned years ago. Appearances aren't reality. And the person you underestimate might be the one you should have valued most. But she'd learn it without me, because I was already gone. 2 days after Jamie's call, I got an email. From Sarah. Subject line, please read this. I stared at it for a full minute before opening it. Asterisk Ryan, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I don't deserve your time or your forgiveness. But I need to say this. I was wrong. About everything. About you, about what mattered, about what I thought I wanted. Derek wasn't who I thought he was. And more importantly, I failed to see who you actually were. You were kind, consistent, loyal. You showed up, and I threw that away because I was chasing something that looked better on paper. I'm so sorry. I don't expect you to respond. I just needed you to know that I see it now. I see what I lost. Sarah, asterisk. I read it twice. Then I closed it without replying. 3 more emails came over the next week. Each one longer. More apologetic. More desperate. I didn't open them after the first one. Then her sister called again. I let it go to voicemail. Ryan, it's Emma. Look, I know this isn't my place, but Sarah is really struggling. She knows she messed up. She's in therapy now, working through why she made the choices she did. I'm not asking you to take her back. Just maybe give her a chance to apologize in person. She needs closure. Please. I deleted the voicemail. A mutual friend, Rachel, texted, Hey, saw Sarah last night. She asked about you. She seems genuinely remorseful. I know it's not my business, but maybe you guys could at least talk. I replied, I appreciate you caring, but I've moved on. Please don't bring her up again. The messages kept coming for another 2 weeks. Friends who thought they were helping. Family members of hers who'd always liked me. Even her mother sent a Facebook message. Ryan, you were always good to Sarah. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive her. I didn't respond to any of them. Then, finally, Sarah showed up at my apartment. I saw her through the peephole. She was holding something. An envelope. She knocked softly. Ryan, I know you're in there. I wrote you a letter. I'm going to leave it here. You don't have to read it. You don't have to respond. But I needed to try. She slid the envelope under my door. Stood there for another moment. Then left. I picked up the envelope. Held it. Then I walked to my kitchen, opened the drawer, and dropped it inside without opening it. Next to the folder with all my financial documents. 2 things she'd never see. It's been a year since Sarah left me for someone successful. 12 months since I sat in my car outside that restaurant and decided I was done. My life looks almost exactly the same from the outside. Same apartment. Same Honda Civic, though it now has 145,000 miles. Same routine. Work from home, gym, occasional dinners with friends. Nothing flashy. Nothing that screams success. But here's what changed. My net worth is now $3.9 million. I landed 2 more major contracts. My rental properties appreciated another 12% combined. I maxed out my retirement accounts again. Started a small investment in a tech startup that's showing promise. I also started dating someone. Her name is Maya. She's a teacher, makes $52,000 a year. We met at a bookstore. She has no idea how much I'm worth, and honestly, it doesn't matter. She likes me for the conversations we have, the way I make her laugh, how I show up when I say I will. The simple things Sarah stopped valuing. I ran into Sarah one last time, about a month ago, at a grocery store. She was alone, looked tired. When she saw me, she froze. Ryan. Sarah. An awkward silence. Then she said, I heard you're seeing someone. That's good. I'm happy for you. Thank you. I'm doing okay too. I moved to a new apartment. Started a new job. Therapy's helping. She paused. I think about you sometimes. About how differently things could have gone. It went the way it was supposed to, I said. She nodded slowly. I never got to properly apologize. For how I made you feel. For not seeing what I had. You apologized in your emails. In your letter. You read them. The first email, I said. That was enough. She looked like she wanted to say more, but I grabbed my card. Take care of yourself, Sarah. I walked away. Didn't look back. And this time I felt nothing. No anger. No regret. No satisfaction. Just peace. She'd wanted someone who looked successful. Someone impressive. She'd gotten that. And it fell apart. Now she knew better. But that growth, that lesson, had nothing to do with me anymore. I was just a guy living his life. Building his future. Staying humble. And that was exactly where I wanted to be. If you're listening to this, maybe you see yourself in it. Maybe you're the person someone underestimated. The one who didn't look impressive enough, successful enough, ambitious enough on paper. Here's what I learned. Your worth isn't determined by how others perceive you. It's not measured in the car you drive, the clothes you wear, or the image you project. It's measured in what you build when no one's watching. In the discipline you maintain when there's no applause. In the character you develop when there's no audience. Sarah judged me based on appearances. She saw a freelancer in an old Honda and assumed that was the whole story. She never asked about my work because she'd already decided it wasn't impressive. She never looked deeper because the surface told her everything she thought she needed to know. And when someone shows you they value appearances over substance, believe them. Because they'll do it again. They'll chase the next shiny thing. The next person who looks successful. The next illusion. The revenge in this story wasn't showing Sarah what she'd lost. It wasn't rubbing my wealth in her face or posting about my success on social media. The revenge was simpler than that. I kept living my life exactly as I'd been. I didn't need her to know what I was worth. I already knew. And that's the lesson. You don't need validation from people who couldn't see your value when it mattered. You don't need to prove anything to anyone who dismissed you. The best revenge is knowing your worth and building your life around it, regardless of who's watching or who believes in you. Sarah wanted someone who could provide a future. She got someone who looked like they could. And when that fell apart, she learned what she should have known all along. Substance beats appearance every single time. But I didn't teach her that lesson. Life did. I just kept building. So if someone walks away from you because you don't look successful enough, let them go. Don't chase them. Don't try to prove them wrong. Just keep building. Keep investing in yourself. Keep showing up with integrity. Because eventually, they'll figure out what they lost. And by then, you'll be so far ahead that it won't even matter. You don't need their recognition. You never did. Stay humble. Stay focused. And let your results speak for themselves, even if the people who doubted you never hear them. That's real success. That's real revenge.